company. So you're deciding how much risk you are willing to transfer through deductibles, through coverages that you accept or reject. So this is, again, why it's very important to sit down with an independent insurance agent and make sure the risk is communicated and understood so that you can decide as a homeowner how much risk you're willing to transfer.
Hey there, folks. Cameron Stewart here with eXp Realty, operating out of Rome, New York, right here in the Mohawk Valley. Stephen Turnbull from Turnbull Insurance Services is here again with me today, talking about all things insurance real estate related. Once again, this series is all about helping educate people, myself included, about the different aspects of real estate. Today, we're talking a little bit more about insurance with Stephen. Stephen, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So today, guys, we're talking about just an overview of property insurance. I still get very confused by property insurance. What's covered, what's not, what does it really do? Why do I need it, right? That's a question we get a lot, okay? So, Stephen, can you highlight some property insurance basics and kind of clear some of this up for us?
Absolutely. So, I mean, property insurance is very broad. And to your point that you just said, you're confused about it. So is everybody else. And, that's our job, is to sit down at most points when you're purchasing your house, whether it be first-time home buyers or people purchasing your house. It's one of the largest investments they make. And so it's important to sit down and make sure that us, as the insurance side of things, understand the risk completely that we're taking a look at insuring, and you understand what's covered, what may not be covered, what you may want to take on as far as risk, and understand the clear communication ahead of time, like you said in the previous video, until it's too late and God forbid something did happen, you can't set it up then. So it's important to have that clear communication with property insurance ahead of time of what the risk is, and make sure your policy is set up properly.
Yeah, it's really tough to be reactive in real estate. We have to a lot, okay, because things come up and we have to solve problems. But when you're under contract on a home and you're trying to also figure out, what kind of insurance you need, it's probably best to have those I's dotted and T's crossed beforehand. And it sounds like people can reach out to you to do that. Correct, Stephen?
Absolutely. So, I mean, let's dive into the property insurance if we're looking at a homeowner's policy. There's many different pieces to the puzzles, toppings to the pizza we use, pieces to the pie that are important to make sure that you have set up properly. In the last video, we talked about there may be a risk on a farm versus your property that's on 0.2 acres in the city. There's going to be different risks there based on your operation, what you do at your house, how big the house is, and those all come into the factor of crafting that perfect insurance policy for you. So we talk about, hitting a few basics. There's different coverages for obviously the dwelling itself. You want to make sure that it's properly covered to the replacement cost value of that dwelling. If it's more of an investment thing, you can insure those on a market value specifically to the cash that you have in it. Your personal property, your stuff, all the things that you bring into the house is covered separately under a homeowner's policy. And then the liability coverage for you as the property owner. If you have somebody over and there's a situation where somebody gets injured, you want to make sure you have enough liability coverage set up for that.
Stephen, real quick, how important is that liability coverage portion of your policy?
Well, listen, the liability portion is very important, as well are the other portions, but you're setting this up as one package in your homeowner's policy, and the liability is a piece of that package. The liability portion covers the liability for you as the homeowner if someone is to come over to the house, maybe slip and fall, and say that you didn't have the ice meltdown or something, and they wanted to sue you. These are all covering you in the liability front. They could go after your personal assets. They could come after you for a settlement. So you want to make sure that the liability coverage is there and that you have enough based on your risk. So an important thing to remember when setting up your homeowner's insurance, or really any insurance policy, is that the premium you're paying to that insurance company is you're transferring the risk to the company. So you're deciding how much risk you are willing to transfer through deductibles, through coverages that you accept or reject. So this is, again, why it's very important to sit down with an independent insurance agent and make sure the risk is communicated and understood so that you can decide as a homeowner how much risk you're willing to transfer. And when I say willing to transfer, maybe you want to take on more risk and have a higher deductible where lower costs would not be covered because your deductible would be subject, or you want to lower your risk and you want to have a lower deductible. So again, these are all pieces of that puzzle, pieces of that pie that we talk about when we sit down and set up your insurance policy.
That makes a lot of sense, Stephen. Now, one last question for you. We talked about being proactive as much as we can. Let's say if someone's watching this video right now and they're considering buying a house, they've got maybe their eye on one in particular, and they're wondering what kind of coverage they can get. Would you be able to help them with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talk about, just back up a little bit too, we talk about being proactive. You can change these things at any time during the course of a year. If you set up your policy January 1st, there's nothing to say that you can't give another person a call, or call your independent agent March 1st to say, hey, I want to just have a review of my policy. Maybe I want to increase this. I heard about water backup. What is that? Do I have that? You can make these adjustments. I think I wanted to just make that point clear. We talk about being proactive to make sure it's properly set up before the loss happens in our world of the insurance, but you can certainly make those adjustments along the way.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much, Stephen. Folks, there you have it, a brief overview of property insurance. Hope we answered some questions that you guys may have had. Please reach out to either one of us if you have some questions. Insurance-related questions, please call Stephen. Real estate-related questions, feel free to give me a call. My direct phone number is 315-351-2765. Stephen, give them your number if you could, please.
315-735-9201.
All right, Stephen, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Next video, we're going to go into even more detail about property insurance. So we look forward to seeing you guys soon.